But I think something more important than me is going on. It seems like those friendly Christians are not being so friendly. So
you want to be loud? You want to be loud? On this day of victory, Christian blood will soak these battlefields.
the trumpet of Michael cannot silence the truth. The trumpet of Michael will not silence the truth. The trumpet of Michael can never silence the truth. We have your children. Your children. You go to 9 to 5, you spend no time.
Dan Badandi for the InfoWars Nightly News. And I'm at Harvard University, where a black satanic mass is supposed to take place later tonight. Protesters have gathered here to demand Harvard not to have the satanic mass. So are you all here protesting?
I'm here to pray today.
The first report was they moved the Black Mass off a campus, and it was going to go to a restaurant in Central Square, and now we're receiving a report from New England Cable News that it's been canceled altogether. So we're absolutely delighted. Apparently, protests do have an effect even on Harvard.
Harvard University was actually started as a Bible school, a place to train up people to be radical for Christ.
This is a great abomination before God.
I heard about the satanic ritual about a week ago, and I've been following the events and decided to come down here and pray.
And where are you from?
Hopkinton, Massachusetts.
We're not going to sit down and let people take what is most sacred to us and trample it underfoot. Just talking about some free expression or right to assemble or whatever is really just a subterfuge. They have speech codes at Harvard like everywhere else. And if they can't recognize this as the same kind of hate speech that they routinely shut down when it is from groups of a traditionalist bent, then they really have no business talking about hate speech as a principle at all.
It's our job to come out and speak the truth calmly and do something for God when he's being attacked.
It makes me afraid, not for myself personally, but for society, for children, for these poor people that come to these things that are curious, because this stuff's dangerous. This is real. It's dangerous.
I'm here to witness the Black Mass, yes.
Okay, now, would you want to take part of it, or are you protesting?
I would have taken part in the Black Mass. Why not? I've taken part in their Mass. Why not the Black Mass?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm a girl.
I said ma'am.
I'm good. That other guy just called me that, so I was confused.
I think it's a violation of their rights. If they wanted to hold a satanic ritual, as I said, as long as it's not hurting anyone, as long as no one's harmed during it, there should be no reason why it needs to be canceled.
I would have never stopped it.
As far as I can tell, there's no good reason to cancel the event. There's no violent crowds out here. Everyone seems to be peacefully minding their own business.
They're doing crack! They're doing all drugs! They're doing all sex! Jesus was a man! Not a deity! He was a man who figured out the eye! Read your book, because it's all in your book! It's in your book! If thine eye be single, you shall see a straight light!
We're pro-Satan. We are anti-Satan. And anti-pro-God. So, pro-God.
Men were yelling at each other. So I'm saying maybe not men yelling would be a third thing as opposed to God versus Satan.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, totally.
Still, I just find it kind of funny how the Christians won't allow anyone to have a satanic black mass, but they can have their own mass and no one protests it and it's fine, it's okay. Like they're saying they're right. And the way they think is the only way to think. And if you think on the opposite side in Satanism, you're wrong and stupid.
Well, the reason I'm here is to make sure that the actual message of the so-called adversary, Satan means enemy. I don't know if everyone knows that. But the so-called adversary is not actually what Satan's about. Satan's about love, kindness, acceptance, liberty, truth. Those are just 5 of the bullet points, the 5 points of the pentagram. See,
My God is Bast, the Egyptian god of war, and I just yesterday invited Jesus into my heart, which is a female Jesus, more scantily clad than a regular Jesus.
Lucian Greaves is not even his name. His real name is Doug Mesner. He is a fake to the extreme. Anybody that reads his page knows this. He has admitted he's not a Satanist. He doesn't believe in Satan. He's not spiritual on any level, and yet he claims claims he's doing positive things for the satanic community.
Satan with the goat head, a pentagram in the background surrounded by adoring children. It is hilarious and scary, and also part of an elaborate trolling enterprise by an organization called the Satanic Temple, which has emerged as a weird, bizarro world religious freedom gadfly.
Everything he's doing is a publicity stunt for a movie he's making called the Satanic Temple.
So what he's trying to do is piss people off, so to speak?
Oh, yes, and he is succeeding, especially within the ranks of the satanic community. We all despise him.
Okay, are you a Satanist yourself?
Yes, I am.
And so basically what you're saying, he's not a real Satanist?
He's not a Satanist on any level. He's admitted to, for example.
The statue in Oklahoma and the Black Mass at Harvard, I feel, were completely separate, and I was a little disappointed at all the press we got for the Black Mass because I feel it overshadows the more important issue of the monument.
And he's working the statue they want to put up in Oklahoma, and here's the real kick in the head. The person whose name is on the papers that it's actually enabling him to do this is the wife of a convicted sex offender.
The Satanic Church is in the back of Adam and Kelsey Daniels' home. Kelsey is the one who submitted the application to have the Satanic monument erected at the state capitol next to the one of the Ten Commandments.
Adam Daniels, in 2009, was convicted of a sexual battery on a person over the age of 16.
You know what? Satan is here, and he ain't going anywhere. We have your children. We have everyone that we need to defeat you, because in the last war, there was 1/3, and we almost won. Michael, Anu, I don't care what you go by now, we will defeat you.
Now, does it scare you or infuriate you that stuff is now going on in the public?
It actually infuriates me, but it also strengthens my faith and makes me want to become a militant for my church and come out and stand up for the truth and what's good and right.
I think it shocks and disappoints me more than anything else.
Now, Homeland Security, now our own government is now classifying the average Christian now as a domestic terrorist. Now, how does that make you feel that our government is now targeting us?
I do know that I've seen a lot of Democrat political figures talking about Christians as terrorists.
Well, I guess it makes me know that the people in my government are no longer representing me, and that I have to continue to know my faith and believe in my faith and trust in God that in the end He will prevail.
I expect that saying what the Bible teaches eventually is going to be illegal, and so be it. We have to keep saying it.
We live in dangerous times.
I think it's horrible. I mean, what else is there to say? All sorts of organizations, disreputable organizations that have their own agendas, like the Southern Poverty Law Center and groups like that, demonize Christians who want to publicly profess their faith like we are, and who oppose all sorts of abominations against marriage, abortion.
And that's considered to them hate speech.
Yeah, it's considered hate speech. But of course they engage in their own hate speech by vilifying us, and there's a nice double standard that they have for themselves.
The protesters that say otherwise, unfortunately, they're just believing what they're told. I mean, not everyone has a genius IQ like me and Kanye West, so it's really hard for everyone else to figure it out. But I figured it out, I could tell you.
We were physically pushed out of there before we put a hand on anyone.
He didn't touch nobody.
These are violent gatherings.
We got thrown out of a public space.
We were physically shoved, torn, pushed.
Physically shoved,
and we didn't touch anybody.
He never even
for you? I bet y'all wanted a blowjob, didn't you?
So right here at the church behind us, the gentlemen who were leading this event tonight actually came in to the pulpit. I was kind of walking away and headed back to the parking garage. They came into to this church right here, went behind the pulpit, pushed people out from behind the pulpit, and started screaming aggressively, "Hail Satan," etc. Just basically trying to worship Satan in this house of God right here. So I did go in and just kind of told them they needed to leave, and at that point, several gentlemen from the church behind us did escort them out. They did not go willingly. They're actually violent in the process, and they were screaming and trespassing until the police actually came about 5 minutes later, and then they changed their whole story. So that's what happened.
And as you can see, it's a great spiritual divide, as we had got comments from people from both sides of the fence. But yet, this is the question. Could this be another attempt by the mainstream media and the government to not only divide the American citizen politically and racially, but also spiritually as well? That's the question you might want to ask. And this is Dan Badandi for the InfoWars Nightly News.
I fear losing Christ more than I do of this in itself, because Christ is greater than this.
Hey, now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO, organic, super male vitality formula, sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.